Hello, it's Don. We're going to do a follow-up video on this Potter's Choice no-till planter. You can see it's up in here. Doing a little work on it. I have a stump in one of my food plots. It's not a big stump, it's down under the ground, but apparently I hit it. And I noticed one of my scallops was turned a little odd. And if you look at this bar right here, you can just see it's bent a little bit. I can't believe it's bent, but whatever, it's bent. I did it. Okay. But while I got everything apart here, and I take care of this thing, and this is only its second season. So I'm a little distraught about what I have found here. But hey, we'll see what happens. This is a holiday weekend. I'll wait till next week. We'll see how customer service is. And we'll call Kasco, see what they got to say. But there's a couple things. I mean, it works. It does what it's supposed to do. I got some short hoses that I said I was going to for the diverter plate. They're right here. So when I did that worked great. I took the hoses off that go down to the tubes and I put these here. That worked fantastic. So that solved that problem. But what I have found now is when I took this off, that this bearing, it's a little hub in here for the scallop, but you got to be able to hear that. That bearing is trashed. And I thought, well, okay, well, it hit a stump, but every one of these, it's the same way. You got to hold the plate away from it. But they're all the same. Every one of them's bad bearings, and they're not sealed at all. There's just nothing there, and I don't understand because it's not like it's out in the rain. It lives in a barn here. It's got a good life. So anyways, I'm taking this apart. I'm going to straighten out that piece of bent metal. I'll follow up with Kasco next week and see what they want to say about those bearings. But on another note, they got, let me come around the other side here. On the back side of the scallop, they got these scraper blades. You hear that squeak? This spring here pulls tension on it, and it rides on the back of that, so it keeps dirt and stuff off of it. Well, that horrible screeching noise is what you got to listen to. It didn't do it at first, but I guess now the paint's wore off of it, and you got all them screeching. It's like, wow, what have I done? I got something I got to grease, and I'm going up to. There's not that many points to grease on here, and I've greased it, and it sounds like I'm killing something back there. And you got 4 of them doing that in concert. So it'll be really interesting to see if they have any cure about that. I don't know if I can loosen them springs up a little bit or what the case may be, but I know I got 4 bad bearings in there on them hubs, and this thing probably ain't got 20 hours on it. Other than that, it works. Just giving you this little follow-up. I'm gonna get this straightened back out. I'm still gonna use it this weekend, finish up, and we'll go from there. I'll keep you posted. Like I said, I'm all about customer service, so we'll be seeing what Kasco has to say. We'll see how well they take care of their customers. All right, thanks for joining me. Okay, here we are. Let's follow up on this Kasco planter repair review, I guess you call it. So I got back home the following week because it was the weekend when I was working on it, and I got a hold of Kasco directly. They were helpful. They were real nice, receptive, I guess you could say. They talked to a couple different people. Somebody in the repair department talked to me, and actually one of the owners talked to me. I told them my concerns on them, those tubes that would fold up, and I had to put short tubes on the diverter plate, and they were a little receptive to my concerns there, and then one guy said, well, you can just shorten them tubes a little bit, but nobody reached out and said, oh, well, sorry about that, we'll give you some different tubes, or here's $10 for your troubles or whatever, but that's okay. I wasn't expecting anything there. I wanted to express my concerns with them. Maybe they'll make a change for the better for future customers. Didn't sound like it. So then I brought my concerns up about these bearings being bad, and one of my concerns was how they went bad to begin with. This thing was only a year old, and in my thoughts while I was talking to them, it kind of came to me. But anyways, they were helpful there, and they said, hey, this thing's over a year, it's past the warranty, but we'll take care of you. But we don't do that at the manufacturer level. you have to take this back to your dealer or take pictures to your dealer, let them inspect it, and then they'll go through us and we'll take care of it. And I thought, oh, okay, I get it. You're the manufacturer. That's why you have dealerships, distributors, and whatnot. So that's where that went. But in that conversation, I started thinking, well, I can't understand why these went bad. It's just a little bit old. It wasn't certainly from going around. They only go around so fast. And it brought up another concern of this unit, and it's something you probably want to know about. Last year I was planting, and one of the 3 fields I planted has got a lot of clay. And it wasn't after a rainstorm or nothing. It was, 3-4 days later. There was no water there, but this clay, how it can get, it gets sticky. And as I was trying to plant this, for starters, my cultipacker, it starts out this big. Well, it starts picking up little bits of clay and grass and all the stuff you're trying to save, and pretty soon my cultipacker's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on back there? So I stop and I look, and the cultipacker was so big it wasn't doing the work anymore. And at the same time, the cutting discs that knifed the seed into the ground were grabbing clay and gotten bigger and bigger and more packed up. And so when I realized this wasn't going to work, I brought it back to the barn and I washed and I washed and I washed to get this clay off. I don't know where you're at. This was in Georgia, and that clay can get it's oh my God, and that's what I was dealing with. So I guess using the utopious amounts of water, I once again I've got water in these bearings and I made them go bad. So back to the repair, they said take the pictures, bring them to the distributor, whatever, we'll take care of it. Well, when I was there, I had it apart. I took a picture of the bearing with my phone, so I had the bearing number, and I got home and I punched that on up on Amazon. Not a plug for them, but that's just what I did. And they had a package for those bearings for $20. Well, for $20, I'm not going to go take pictures. I'm not going to go to the store. I'll use $30 in fuel and aggravation and time and all that. So, $20. I ordered the bearings from Amazon. They're here in one day. And when I get back to my cedar, I'll put them in, and no big deal. But if you have a lot of clay in your fields, this was a good thing that it happened, just so I could spread this word to you. If there's a lot of clay, no, you're not doing it. I'll end up just having to broadcast seed over this, and then I'll just run it in with the ATV or something like that, like I did in years past. That works. You have to use basically double the seed because so much on top it doesn't germinate like it's supposed to. Versus if you get it in with the cultipacker, where that thing works, it works well. I'm not down playing this cedar. I like it. I'm glad I have it. But if you got a lot of clay, it's not for you. So anyways, long and short of the story, Kasco, they stood behind it and they said they would take care of it. Just for me, for the $20, I'll just get the bearings and change it. Just like the tubes, I just bought the tubes and put them on there, and no aggravation. It works great, and I'm happy. So there you go. That's the 1-year follow-up, 1-year review, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for joining me.